Hello there, my friends. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Recusant titles that were previewed by Atomic Mass Games. And as usual, I will transition into normal speaking voice in 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're back. Alright, so we're gonna... I don't know, I'm trying new things. Anyway, well, yeah, we're gonna talk about some of these titles. Also, I want to do a little correction because I was apparently mistaken with regards to the Jedi hostage card that we talked about yesterday. So I'm going to be probably doing a whole video on that as kind of how the clones factions, the Clone War factions deal with raid tokens and that card kind of and where it kind of sits in that whole thing. So we're going to be talking about that one more, but it's not actually as bad as I thought. I looked at it and I thought, wait a second, as soon as this happens, it exhausts. And I'm like, no, there's only one way that it exhausts, and the rebel, the other opponent has to get close enough to you to trigger it, and that's what makes it exhaust. And I'm like, okay, so that makes it a little bit better because it can potentially trigger all game. So in that case, there might be a use for it. But today we're going to be talking about the Recusant, the most interesting ship that we have coming, in my opinion. I love this ship. I love the crazy, wild firing arcs of this ship, and we've got 3 cool new titles that we're going to be talking about. Also, if you're new here, a new round of the giveaway starts right now. $25 Amazon gift card. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. So let's go ahead and talk about the Nova Defiant. Very cool title here that's doing a couple of interesting things. You start with one of each token, and it has to be one of each. So with 4 tokens, and it also makes your command value 4. It also lets you be able to get more than 1 token of each type. So it's kind of like the Executor title a little bit for the Super Star Destroyer. You can have like as many engineering tokens as you want. Granted, keep in mind, you can't ever use like 2 tokens in the same turn. So it's not like you can stack multiple tokens together. It'd be kind of cool if something like that lets you do that. But I think that's probably a whole different kind of title for some other day. I could see a ship that doesn't give you extra tokens, letting you like maybe stack of the same type and then be able to kind of combine them together into like a mega token turn. That could be kind of fun at some point. So this also says when you reveal a command, you may discard all of the cards or all of the tokens from this card to gain them. So basically, you don't have any limit as far as as what types of tokens you can have. So you still have a limit of 4 tokens because you have you've got exactly command value of 4. So pretty cool. It's kind of like a Garm Beliblis kind of thing going on here. It's going to be harder to plan commands for this, but this is going to be really good for a ship that probably wants to just do like nav, or maybe wants to just do concentrate fire or something like that. Now I can also get some love from all the other stuff. So there's a lot of uses for this, and so much stuff within this faction also uses tokens. The Clone Wars factions are becoming really big token players. So this is just going to be a title, I think, that commonly gets taken amongst ships, fleets that don't have to be ultra versatile. Especially ships that maybe don't need to run squadron command as much and can be like, hey, I'm just going to nav the whole time, or I'm just going to concentrate fire the whole time. And they can get a little engineering in there, a little nav and stuff like that. Kind of cool. We also have the Gilded Aegis. 5 points for this particular title. It says at the end of the command phase or ship phase, you may discard a redirect token to move shields to one of your hull zones. If you do, the number of shields in that hull zone cannot exceed 6. You cannot recover shields in that zone while it is greater than the maximum shield value. So this one is kind of similar to one of the titles we looked at for the Providence yesterday, in that like it's gonna be good for maybe a flagship that is like taking concentrated fire on one side. It'd be actually good if you're running away, and they're like, oh, they're going to get me in the rear. All of a sudden, boom, take all the rest of your shields, because you can take them from multiple zones, too. It just says move shields, so it doesn't say from one zone. So you can move shields from all the rest of your ship to one last zone. This one's actually, like, from a certain point of view, it seems like it'd be a good one to put on your front hull zone, since your front hull zone is so big. You're probably going to be taking a lot of shots on the front if you're going straight at somebody. However, the problem with that is that you're going to have to lose that token. and a lot of people don't want to lose a redirect token, and so that's one of the issues with that. But I mean, it's weird. It's weird how like some of the cards that we've had previews have like negative effects with them also. Like I think that's one of the most weird things about some of the new cards that we've been seeing. And yeah, I think that's interesting. Now, the Recusant does have 4 defense tokens, so even if you get rid of that redirect, you're still going to have the evade, you're still going to have the salvo, and you're still going to have brace. And I think maybe this is a good thing for like a ship that doesn't have contain, that doesn't want to take special crits. Like boosting up your shields a lot higher is probably a good way to make sure that you're not taking those crits. You've only got 3 shields in the front, 3 shields in the sides, and 2 in the rear on the Recusant, so you don't have that many shields to begin with. It's kind of cool to be able to have 6 shields in one place or something like that. So hey. And your rear hull zone is actually pretty big sized. Like it's a pretty good sized rear hull zone. So if you're flying away, if you're running from somebody, especially at the end of the game, I think that's a pretty cool way to do it. And then last up is the Patriot Fist. While attacking a ship at medium to long range, if this is your first attack during your activation, you may add 2 blue dice to your attack pool. If you do, you cannot attack again during this activation. So here's a ship that if you're going to do this is a ship that you're probably just going to attack one time, and that's kind of rough, right? Because this is somebody who's going to be good for going straight at the opponent, because your front hull zone is your biggest attack hull zone. You're looking at 4 red and 2 black in the front, 3 red and a black on the sides. You can potentially, if you want to put the swivel mounts on this thing, and you'd be looking at like maybe something like 4 red, 2 blue, and a black at long range. Like, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty darn impressive. I think there's some beauty to be had out of this. Granted, it's the only attack you're going to get. But a lot of times when you're flying straight at somebody that first time, you usually don't have, like at least at long range, you usually don't have that many shots to begin with. And if you happen to be at close range, well, then you're going to have the black dice naturally anyway. So that's a good problem to have. Like, oh, I'm close range. Well, I guess I get to attack twice. You're going to get a lot more dice if you're attacking at close range anyway. But I think it's a fun card. And the cool thing is too, is this can be out of any arc. If somebody's behind you or whatever, again, like you're running, I don't think that Separatists are going to be running all that much, but maybe that's the thing. They want the Separatists to do well when running away. Even out of your rear arc, you're going to be getting all that stuff. So, I mean, cool title. It thinks you're only able to attack the one time, though, right? Like, part of me was thinking, well, what about slave turrets? Because there's a way you can get an extra die, but you can only attack once, and it's like I think the front arc for this thing is just perfect for something like this. So it's so wide. You can have so many options out of that front arc. You're going to have one really, really big shot. And the thing that stinks, though, is you can't even do, like, it'd be one thing if you couldn't attack at a ship again this activation. If you could at least, go for a squadron attack. But nope, you're only going to get one attack. That's kind of a bummer. At least this activation. You can still salvo, but you won't get, you're not going to get the Patriot Fist effect on a salvo, because it has to be your first attack during your activation. If there's some other effect that lets a ship take a free shot, which I'm seeing more and more things that kind of lead me to believe that's something that they're kind of considering or planning doing, that'd be a really good, really powerful thing. It's like, hey, you know what? You can make another ship just take a shot outside of its activation. Like, that'd be really cool. But it would also be really powerful. And then things like this would prohibit that, because I'm like, no, it's not during your activation, so you can't do it. But still, overall, great ship, or great card for this ship. Now, granted, this is a little counter, though, because this ship's got the really wide front arc. You kind of want to, like, when I look at these ships, I think, well, I want to probably kind of fly sideways and try to get that front and side arc, double arc, while flying sideways. But that might be a little bit trickier to do. And so here's just a really cool option if you just want to fly straight at somebody. So, so we got some pretty cool titles. Out of all of these, I think the Nova Defiant is the best. and they're all situational, but I think this one might be my favorite one because this one allows me to kind of fly the ship kind of however I want. Right? It's going to just be almost universally good. It does have the negative drawback of you have to have a command value of 4, so it means you're going to have to assign 4 dials to your ship. But that's usually not a problem for me because a lot of times with a ship like this, I'm probably going to concentrate fire 100% of the time anyway. But if that changes, if I decide I want to do some different things, I'm not crazy about the Gilded Aegis. I think it works kind of well for a ship that only doesn't have more than 3 shields in any particular zone. But if you've already taken some damage, it's going to be problematic because you're not going to be able to get that much stuff back. But it's good if you have to run away for the end of the game. Although I don't want usually a 100-point ship running away usually. I don't know. It kind of depends. This one's going to be situational. And it's cool to have the option. I'd like it better if it was cheaper, considering it's already got the drawback of you having to lose a redirect. Happens to work out perfectly, I think, if you got no shields left, or you're going to transfer all the rest of your shields into the one side. You wouldn't need the redirect anyway at that point, and I think that's kind of the idea of this one. But Patriot Fist is definitely a really fun one. I guess it gives you the option. I guess you don't have to use its ability. You can just double arc somebody if you want. So I guess maybe Patriot Fist is the best, but they all have some kind of drawback, don't they? Interesting how they're doing this. Nothing's just like, hey, you get an extra bonus, or hey, you get an extra officer slot. They all have something a little, at least for the Recusant. That's a little bit less than perfect. Let me know your favorite ship down in the comment section. Also, check out my Discord. Hop in the Discord channel. If we have Armada channels in Discord, as well as X-Wing and Legion channels also. But hop in the Armada channels. Let us know what you think, which one of these is your favorite, and kind of your hot takes on all of these. I would love to chat with you there and talk Armada. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for today. Stay tuned for more cool stuff. There'll be more Armada news as it comes, plus news for all the other games. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are super awesome, and I couldn't do this without your continued support. Thank you so much, and as always, have a great day.